7 Americans who tried to ruin the British monarchy. 1. Woodro Wilson. Wilson was the first U.S. president to visit Britain. His arrival in London in 1918 was magnificent. People crammed the streets. The press called it Woodro Mania. Wilson disappeared inside Buckingham Palace, but the crowd did not disperse. Instead, a chant went up, "We want Wilson." After a while, Wilson appeared on the balcony. He was standing beside King George V and Queen Mary. A roar went up. The royals were overshaded. 2. Kiki Preston. Preston was an American socialite. In colonial-era Kenya, she was famous for her drug-fueled party lifestyle. Prince George, 4th son of George V, was smitten. Through Kiki, he became addicted to cocaine and morphine. Then he was drawn into a ménage à trois with a man, Jorge Ferrara. Eventually, his brother Edward forced the pair apart. George would later die in a mysterious plane crash. Kiki leaped to her death in New York at 48. 3. Wallace Simpson. Edward went on to become King Edward VIII. Then he himself fell in love with an American socialite. Once George V died, Edward started making plans to marry Wallace. The problem was, he was already married. The British press accused Wallace of being a gold digger, so she turned around and left. The government crisis worsened. Prime Minister Stanley Baldwin threatened to resign, but Edward chose Wallace, abdicating the throne. The couple moved to France and never came back. 4. Stark. Prince Andrew was known as Randy Andy in the early 1980s. The young helicopter pilot was considered a sex symbol. In 1981, the 31-year-old prince had an affair with Stark. The American actress was notorious for The Awakening of Emily. The avant-garde movie tells the story of a teenage London girl. She goes on an erotic adventure involving multiple men and women. Queen Elizabeth II was livid. After Andrew and Q spent a holiday on Mustique, Elizabeth intervened. The prince was forced to cut ties with the actress. 5. John Bryan. Prince Andrew went on to marry Sarah Ferguson. Fergie was seen as a more decorous counterpart to Princess Diana, but in 1992, her photos caused another uproar. Fergie was photographed sunbathing in Saint-Tropez. Beside her was her financial advisor, the American John Bryan. He appeared to be sucking on her toes. Fergie had just separated from Andrew. Elizabeth was trying to make them patch things up. After the Daily Mail published the photos, the Queen summoned Fergie. Her Majesty told Sarah to pack her things and leave. 6. Jeffree Steinberg. Lady Diana died in a car crash on the night of August 31, 1997. She was with her boyfriend Dodi Fayed. That was bad enough. But then Jeffree Steinberg stepped in with his furies. Steinberg was a senior writer for Executive Intelligence Review. The magazine was owned by convicted fraudster Lyndon LaRouche. Steinberg spun his own conspiracy theory. Diana had been murdered on orders from the royal family. No evidence of this has ever been found, but the theory gained traction and remains popular. 7. Meghan Markle. Harry and Meghan announced their engagement in 2017. It was widely celebrated. The American actress was seen as smart and modern. However, British tabloids soon started digging up dirt on Meghan. She was relentlessly criticized. All this culminated in Harry and Meghan's departure. Giving up their titles was a scandalous move. Then Meghan accused the royal family of racism. Then Harry published a muckraking memoir. This has virtually turned the couple into outcasts. Today, Harry holds an approval rating of 24%. Meghan's is 23%. Only Prince Andrew has a lower approval rating at 9%. That's the result of his association with Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein was, of course, American as well.